All right, guys, good morning to you today. Today is the 7th of July, 2025. It's a good day, 7-7. All right, CRAZII Market Talk with KEL. Be crazy with CRAZII. All right, guys, this morning's session is going to be very interesting because not going to cover the usual market stuff, and we're going to talk about the S&P 500. Now, last night, we spent about 1.5 hours going through the possibility of a financial technical recession, and I use the word stagflation. I also say that, right, this is going to be a mini one. And then after that, we will see a big inflation in the late of 2025. And then we're going to see a bit of pullback in the stock market first. And then after that, we'll see a massive rally. It's a massive rally. And that will be the run that we're looking forward. And then after that, it's by late 2026, we're going to see the market peaking, all right, around there. Then by 2027, we should see the pullback that everybody has been anticipating. So all these have been shared last night. So if you missed the session yesterday, don't worry, we will come out the video replay later in the evening. But of course, if you want to get a heads up on what happened, you can read what Richard has actually summarized for all of you. He used the AI to summarize it, and then it's on the Telegram group chat right now. Okay, all right, so that's a pretty good one to start out with. And now let's go into the important stuff. So disclaimer apply as usual. Please take note of that. And also the thing is this, later on, we will review of what the S&P market is doing right now and why are we having this little thing called KEL program. Yeah, I'll come to that shortly. Okay, so let's go into something more into the concerning factor right now. So first of all, right, we know that OPEC and the members have agreed to larger than expected oil production hike in August. And I said before last night, I said that because the next thing to be moving in the market will likely be crude oil. Now we have seen gold going up, we have seen copper also coming up, and usually after gold move, it will be copper, and after copper will be US crude oil. And it's seemingly the next market is crude oil. And a big beautiful bill by Donald Trump also basically emphasized on the crude oil industry, and that is perfectly in line with what he wants. So that's why I feel that, right, in the later part, crude oil price will be going higher. And of course, if that happens, inflation is expected to grow up. And that's very reason why the Federal Reserve is not very keen to hike interest rate at this moment, right? I mean, reduce interest rate at the moment right now, yeah? Now, Elon Musk obviously has created a wave over the weekend. He has said that he has formed a new US political party called the America Party. Okay, so he says that he's launching, okay, all right, and from one day. So he basically says that this name is called America Party, okay, and it will focus about 2 to 3 Senate seats to 8 to 10 House districts. So he's not looking at a very big party. And this is going to be very interesting because he's the richest man on earth right now. So definitely he's involved in politics, going to be very decisive. And the thing is this, by doing that itself, right, he's definitely going to make a run into the government side. So hopefully, gets into trouble because we all know that, right, when you get too near to politics itself, right, you will get a bit of issue personally. And we all know that before. So he was the largest donor during the 2024 election. All right, giving about $280 million through the cycle, predominantly to be the presidential to the Donald Trump. Okay, so thing is this, that will be very interesting because if he comes in, I'm pretty sure he can spill a lot of stuff onto the wrong side, and then that will become a problem again. Okay, so why is he doing that? Right, it's because he's very, very upset that he's trying his best to reduce the cost for the U.S. government. That's why he created Doge, all right, to reduce the spending. But apparently now this Donald Trump has decided to come out with this big, beautiful bill. We should have spent a minimum of at least $5 trillion. Now, wait a minute. Now, you think about this, right? Elon spent, 6 months to get back $1 trillion back, but actually it's about $800 billion, okay, from all the different government sectors, and really turning up and flipping people's wallet and everything, and then of course causing a lot of mayhem around the way, and then causes his own Tesla share to be sold down. And now his boss or ex-boss decided that it's time to do this big bill, and instead of the promise that he promised people to reduce the cost, he increased it by $5 trillion. Now, of course, the thing is this: by spending this $5 trillion, Donald Trump's point of view is to increase the increase and improve the current economic situation with your US, which is like, I mean, let me give you an example, right? Is that you have a restaurant right now that is doing rather badly, all right? And then the thing is this, okay, it's almost near to foreclosure. Then you go and basically go to your dad and borrow another bunch of money from him himself, and then tell your dad, look, you must save me, put in more money, and I put another restaurant instead. So of course, when you basically take the extra money and then cover up the holes of the first restaurant will survive. But the thing is this, right? The cost is there. And then you bring in another restaurant in and build another restaurant and expect the second restaurant to save the first restaurant. But the thing is this, you yourself is a bad business person. So what happened then? The second restaurant, if it fails, then you have a bigger hole, right? So this is what is happening right now. Okay. So, and he basically said that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party. Oh my God. All right. I mean, obviously, it's out there trying to. Because pigs is known to be, being the so-called the not so clever animal, yeah, so-called. So he's using this to do that and call it pork instead. Oh gosh. Okay. So anyway, that is how things are moving in US. All right, it's been crazy over here. That's why I say we call ourselves crazy. Makes sense. Yeah, the crazy world. Now, Donald Trump has said that he has sent out tariff letters to 12 countries, and 12 of it, a dozen of them are going to sign. But interestingly, is that right? He also wants to push back the dates backward as well. Yeah. So we are supposed to the 90 days. Or 90 days go very fast. 90 days pushback since then in April has now reached the point. Yes, this coming Wednesday will be the end of the 90 days. So that's why now Donald Trump is telling the whole world now, okay, never mind, let's push back by one more month, but still things going on. Now, this thing is like, yeah, initially when he pushed back, right, the market shoot up by 300 points. Then he pushed back again, the market up by 200 points. But now he said again, the market up by 100 points only. So what I'm trying to say is this, that right now the impact of this type of pushing back the tariff date has no longer got an impact. Second, the countries that basically buckled in, right, who accepted the letter, who was going to be signing letters in the big countries, all right, he didn't say which country, he only gave a rough, vague number, but I'm pretty sure the bigger country will not accept it. So I believe that it's a matter of time that some countries will call his bluff. Yes, that means that, right, they are betting that Donald Trump will not exercise the tariff. Even he does, it will be like, it's very silly because then the country on the opposite side will just have to do the same thing. So I think that is why now you can see the US dollar continuing to fall because people are calling Donald Trump's bluff. And that is the issue right now. And of course, last one is this one here. Bissell says that, right, the tariff will boomerang back to April level by August the 1st for country without deals. So that means that the 100 over countries at the time when Donald Trump took out his board and said that there will be tariff coming in. Now, the thing is this, after so long, many countries are not giving any insights to this. So now the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that, okay, never mind, if you don't want to come back to me, never mind, we just reverse back to the April's figures, like 10%, 20%, even 50% at that level. It's definitely a bluff. I mean, put it this way. This is what US like to do. They like to really threaten, push the table to a corner, and try to, hope that the person will buckle down. But you look carefully, it's all right. Their buck is louder than their bite. Yes, because if their bite was strong, they would bite it in and insist that happened. But they know that they can't afford because the countries will just basically get out. So that's why I can say that this thing will work, but not for all the countries. It will be most for some of the countries. So the question is this right now. If it only work for some of the countries, then what will happen? That means the tariff figures that Donald Trump say will collect from the countries will not work. And if it doesn't work itself, what happened to the stock market? Definitely there will be some impact. So that's how I see for the whole picture. Yeah. So I'll leave it for you to decide. Okay, so now let's see what happened over here. This morning we saw gold has a opening price of 33.35. Okay, gold at 33.35, and it's very, very near to the MA30, which is the 3343. The MLP itself is 3331. Okay, so simply put itself, this morning gold open, and instead of going higher, it came down. Now today there's no pivot, yeah, no pivot day. Okay, so no pivot day, the opening price will be the key factor here. If the market stays above 4p, it'll be going up. But stay below OP, we're coming down. And because the KSI is red, so definitely when the market breaks below OP, the market will sell. And truth be told, it's happening right now. Okay, it's happening right now, yeah? Now, the current price now, the KCL, just ignore this at the moment because there's a bug here itself. Just ignore this. All right, so don't talk about the KCL first for today, yeah? Okay, now there is a 4 diamond here, and if you draw a line across it on the closing price, you will see that today is a CCYR below the line, right? So confirm must sell. When you see the market is below the diamond line and it's a CCYR, meaning red color candle, confirm must sell. It's something I said before to you. Okay, the question is this, you will ask now, Kel, how low will this go? Well, we have a few numbers to take note. The first number is 3303, that is the first KCB. The second number itself is 3273. Now, why is the gold coming down right now? Because there's some buy in the dollar because of what happened this morning when they said that they will exercise the tariff regardless and then stuff like that. So there was a bit of buying on the dollar, but this will not stand, I said again. So anyway, if the gold do come down, watch out for 3303 and 3273. The last time you saw, right, 3303 is where it is. That was where the first base and then the price goes up. The second base is somewhere into here at 3273. Now, if you look at 3273, if I put a line across it, yeah, you will see that 3273 has a very strong support. So I think that if you want to buy and play very, very safe, you can look at 3273 for a buy from the bottom again. Now, for those who like to buy from the bottom, this will be a good level for you, 3273. Okay, all right. Now, look at the Dow Jones right now. Now, the Dow Jones today has a different thing. The pivot is there. So that doesn't mean that the pivot is, that the pivot is working, yeah? Okay, the opening price for today, Dow Jones is at 44,702, while the MLP is 44,677. Now we can see the market is testing the MLP, trying its best to stay afloat. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days. But to be correct, 9 days because the last day was down. But about 9 to 10 days, the market has been surging, right? But the KSI has been staying red. Now, I know that again and again, everybody is complaining and say that this is really a terrible indicator. Okay, fine. If you cannot understand what I've been trying to tell you, then it's okay. It's terrible, but to me, it's excellent. To me, today number is very critical. This number, take note, 44,475. Why? Because this is a KCB, right? Of course. But you notice that that is also the near to the low of the last week. Now, in an elephant trade, when the price is going upwards, right? Okay, you cannot short it when it's going up. When the KSI is red, while the low is escalating higher, this is a wrong thing to do, to short. So those who shorted along the way up the south, right, you're not doing it correctly. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah. Only when the market basically breaks below the low of the last trading day, while the KSI stays red, then that is a trigger of the elephant downside trade. So now the thing is this, I'm waiting. I actually hope that today the Dow can break down to here. But from what to happen, you see it'll be down by at least 200 points from where we are. So today, right, since the opening price is 44,702, so by right itself, right, as long as short below OP, I'm safe because of the pivot to impact. And I will hold my position until I see 44,475. If it holds there and recover, that means the market is still highly supported. If the market breaks below it and crack down, oh, there, that will be good because that means the selling will be quite impactful. The next number that the Dow can go will be 44,036 level. And I think that this is actually achievable. For those who joined us last night, right, I shared at least 30 slides regarding why I think the US market will be falling the next 3 months. In fact, the next 3 weeks, in fact. So guys, if you are interested to find out more, you can watch the replay later in the evening. Yeah? We are all doing the subtitling now at the moment, okay? So that is the Dow Jones. But of course, if the Dow Jones decided to reverse upside, right, then of course the pivot 1 will be the TP level at 45,038. Now, 45,000, okay, let's take a look here as well, guys. The last time the highest point the Dow was and came to the nearest was 45,010. 45,010. And that was the highest point before the Dow collapsed all the way from the highest point to the lowest point which is about 37,000 level. Oh my God. So from 44,000, the market dropped to 37,000 points. Now that was because of the tariff that Donald Trump implemented. Okay, so think about this for a moment. Here to here itself, right, that when they implemented this was where the war happened. This was where the implementation happened. And the market basically did a super U-turn here. Okay, so now the thing is this. We are back to where we started. All right, and then again, Donald Trump's going to do again the same thing and imposing the tariff. Back then, he imposed but didn't exercise. Now he's going to impose. So I do suspect the market will pull back also once again. And of course, if you look at the highest point of the Dow Jones, it is actually traded at 45,140, 45,140, 45,010. So the thing is this, what you think? The numbers are actually coming down, right? Yes, indeed. So over here itself, you can see the KSI was all the way green. Over here, all the way green. But this time around, we have something very different. Okay, so that's why I said that we just have to wait for a while, let the market move, and then we will know what to expect from it. So for those who want to get involved with my trading, please contact Susan. She'll guide you from down there. All right, the last one is the currency market before we take our move to do the S&P 500. Now, the thing is this, the dollar yen has been something that I've been talking about, and I still believe that dollar yen is still going to go down. Yes, I think the dollar yen will still go down because the dollar should be coming down. So now the thing is this, you can see a very interesting support level over here, we saw last week, this number here, somewhere around this number, 142.30, right? 142.30 has been a very clinical support level for the dollar yen. It's like every time when the dollar yen comes to this point, the dollar yen will rebound. So I suspect that the same thing will happen in the near term. The dollar yen will come down and touch this again. So look out for the exercise here today. If the market breaks below pivot 2, 144.235, then I suspect that the market will go down and to come down to here itself, 142.30. So for those who want to short the dollar yen, you can watch out for these few numbers for today. All right, that will be all for today's market talk. We'll spend some time in the macro picture, so don't worry, you can pick it up from down there. So take a short break right now for a minute or so, and then we come back for the S&P trade. I'll explain to you why I think the S&P 500 is going to go down in the near term. All right, so don't go away if you want to hear more on this. See you then.